Actually, he's still hired on the team. You? Mind if I snag this? Good for next Saturday? So you'll be guaranteed to get the real number of buyers.
Used to, but now
Cupcakes out there.
Never done it? This is my first time. I usually
Go ahead, take a seat. First name, stop talking. Grab a seat. As you guys are grabbing a seat, if you don't mind turning off your Wi-Fi, we are trying to get this streamed. So if you can take a moment to just turn off your Wi-Fi if you're connected to the office Wi-Fi, that would be fantastic. You are all amazing and welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Okay, and if you don't mind silencing your phone, I know you guys are all extremely busy real estate agents, so if you don't mind throwing that on silent, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's jump in. I actually talked about this last week, and I am going to touch on this briefly because I will probably lose it if I have to talk about this for very long. You guys know up in LA there is wildfires. Obviously, we're going to talk a bit about how this is impacting business as well. What I wanted to mention is that we have put together an effort called Squares for KW Cares. Have any of you ever played Super Bowl Squares, like where you buy a square? Okay, there's some head nods. It's like, nobody this morning knew what I was talking about. I'm like, don't you guys do Super Bowl Squares? So what we are doing is we are doing Super Bowl Squares. At the end of the meeting, you guys can buy a square. Each square is $20. And the way this works is, if you have not played Super Bowl Squares, you're going to write your name in a blank square. Next week, after all the squares are full, Nancy and Ari and I are going to pull out numbers, and they'll go on the side and across the top. At the end of each quarter of the Super Bowl, there will be a winner. So it will cost you $20 to purchase a square. At the end of the first quarter, let's say the score is 3-7. We'll take a 3 and a 7, wherever those numbers get drawn, and we'll find the person that's in that square that matches, and you'll get $100. There will be a bigger prize for halftime and a bigger prize for the final payout, but you're purchasing that one square for $20, and then over the Super Bowl, we'll pay out winners. What that does for us is, even with those payouts to the winners, we will still have $1,000 immediately to donate to KW Cares. So we will also be able to donate 4 $100 gift cards. We had, just for those of you guys that are familiar with the LA area, we have a business center that was up in the Pacific Palisades that is completely gone. And our KW Pasadena office was heavily impacted. There have been 51 agents that have been displaced. 27 have completely lost everything. Wow. It is vital to get them money. And I have been in contact with some agents up there. One of the things, I have a connection, if you guys come across any rentals that are not on the market yet, one of the things that this one particular team that I've been dealing with, they have 43 clients that lost their homes. So in addition, they are actually safe, their home is safe, but her and her husband are a team, and they're trying to get 43 clients placed in temporary housing. And right now rentals up in LA are very tough to come by. So there is some people that are coming down our way. So if you happen to hear of something, I will be happy to connect you. Or if you guys want to look them up, they're the Burns team, and they locate out of Cape City, Pasadena. They're a very large team, and they have a lot of people that are impacted. So this is one way that you can help. This is sending money. So yes, when you're done, what we'll do is we'll have at the very end, it's posted up there on the TV wall just outside where Nancy and Ari sit. And it's a $20 donation, Venmo, KWSD Metro, and then you'll write your name in the square. Please make sure to write your name legibly, first and last name, because I have done these before where people, you can't read what they wrote, and then we keep the money, it goes to KW Cares.
Yeah. If we want to just make a splat donation, not in it, are we doing this as well? Or
Maybe. I love when people set me up like that.
You set yourself up, so you're good.
Thank you, appreciate that. If you prefer to donate directly, this is going directly to the 501(c). So in terms of like keeping the records for your taxes for your business at the end of the year, this is how you would do that. Go directly here, make a donation. This QR code is always available. Just ask if you ever need it, Ari, or you just go to KW Cares, and on their main page, it tells you exactly how to make a donation. Yeah, this is how you donate directly to KW Cares if you want to do that. And by Super Bowl Square, whatever you want to do. The last thing I will say, spending a little more time on this than I know I'm supposed to, it's just, it hits you different when it's people that you know, and I know I shouldn't say that. It's always horrible when we have these disasters, but my very first boss lost everything, so it's a big deal to them. Okay, we're going to move on again. Bucket Bill, somebody say to me and say something they're grateful for. Anybody. Somebody has something that is going to be a bright, shiny moment.
Oh,
thank you.
I'm gonna bucket Bill Gaga.
Oh my God, I just did the same thing.
No, don't do that to me. Right now, I'll just park it here. So as you know, we came in for a month together. We had a very, come to Jesus this morning, I guess, at a coffee shop now that I'm back in town, and we'll be back doing our thing here. And, well, I'm not gonna bore everybody, but a lot of details behind that. But even my husband can see the change in me that you helped bring over the last month. So, thank you. I love you. And another cry. So I love you, and I couldn't have done the last month. Well, you took like the last 3 weeks off for vacation, but the month before that without you.
I was just about to say the same because I'm in a bad place, and we had a long conversation today, and she really brought me back to Jesus. At least she brought me back to realize, okay, this is the next step because I had no steps in front of me.
It's beautiful.
I know. It's all happened.
Any other bucket fills? I will also say my bucket fill is later. I want to bucket fill a few of our vendor partners, but I will save that for a future slide. Oh, here it is. Yeah, look at that transition. Sometimes I forget. Ari keeps me on, like Ari does all this, you guys. She's amazing. Let's give Ari a bucket fill. There's no way to be able to pull this together. She clearly did this. I'm very excited, you guys. Our vendor website is live. So if you scan that QR code, or we will have it up, we're going to get it put up over on the vendor wall over there on top of the mailboxes. So I'll get that sign put up as well. So if you don't want to do it right now, you can always scan it. All of these vendors are in our network. So they have already met with Ashley and myself, and they are coming together to support you guys. I wanted a way where, selfishly as an agent, I forget things all the time. But if it's in my phone and if I can make it easy, then I'll do it. So this is a way where if you scan from your phone, pre-programmed, each vendor, their phone number will make your phone dial. The link to their name will send them an email. So it's automatically programmed in for you. So you don't have to go on the Facebook page and be like, hey, who was the guy that came in and was talking about 1031s? Oh, that's Eric. His info is all pre-programmed in there, right? So that as we bring in vendors over the next few weeks and months, that you guys will know exactly where to go, because what always happens is like I'm meeting with somebody and I'm like, oh, somebody came into my office. Who the heck? Who was that person? Now you can also still ask on the Facebook page, and I will just direct you here. Then if for some reason you have a request and they're not already in our vendor partner network, This also has my contact information at the bottom of this website so that you can connect me with them so that we can interview them and see if it would be a win-win. That's the other piece. That's why this is my bucket fill, is all of these people were pre-interviewed. These aren't just random people that came and dropped off cards. These are people that we interviewed to make sure it was a win for you guys as well as a win for their business. With all that said, Integrity Property Management was our vendor for lunch today, so please give them a big thank you. And they would be here talking, but they both got the flu last night, and so their doctor said, please don't go talk to a bunch of people. That would not be good, you're both contagious. So Integrity Property Management brought us lunch today. I'm gonna have them back on at our Zoom meeting at the end of the month, so you'll get a chance, but they are awesome. Property management and maintenance. If you have questions, let me know. I've been fortunate enough to meet with them and I have some details about their business.
And you do short-term property management too, short-term vacation rentals, which is something that, I don't know, I have a hard time finding property managers that are willing to do that, so keep them in mind for that.
Yep. Yeah. And they have a lot of good recommendations for like cleaning and other things as well.
Yeah.
So management and maintenance. But yes, thank you for that. That's a really good point. Awesome. And I will also say there's cards. All Coast Restoration. I know, Chris, I know you maybe talked to them recently, but All Coast Restoration, they do restoration projects. So if there was that, fire damage, mold damage, they are though just in San Diego County. They do not go up to LA. So I have cards for fun. We would love to welcome Kelly. Welcome, Kelly. Congratulations. Hey, let's see. And welcome, Marie. Marie. Oh my God, Marie. She was here. Where'd she go? She was here. I just saw her. Welcome, Marie. Ashley, is there anything you want to say to welcome Noble?
Yeah. So we have, I got really, really lucky. And we're always looking to get into business with talent. And sometimes it happens really quickly. So a couple weeks ago, I got a phone call from a Keller Williams agent who's pretty well-known Keller Williams agent in Atlanta and said, would you meet with my son? He's thinking about getting into the lending side of the business. So we met a couple weeks ago and I went, oh my God, I need to hire him as the salesperson for escrow. So Noble, in the back of the room.
Hi, everyone.
Started officially on Monday, and I'm so excited for you all to get to know him. He does come from real estate Realty, has his degree in real estate from SDSU, and is a puppy. He's 24. But
You're making Charlie jealous.
yeah. Amazing, smart, compassionate, empathetic, handsome.
Okay, Ashley.
Yeah.
Thank
So we're excited. We're excited.
Super excited to meet everyone.
We will be closed on January 20th in observance of MLK Junior Holiday. What that means is if you need to be here, you need to make sure that you talk to Ari and the leadership team and make sure you've made arrangements that you're all set up. We'll be closed that day. That's next Monday. Mondays with Mark. I know Mark has been saying that sometimes they're not all transaction questions. I just wanted to clarify, this is not just transaction based. He will always answer those questions first. But if you need a place to go and just have a quick mastermind with other agents that can be live, he is also doing other real estate related topics. But if you have a transaction question, he will always start with answering that. So that's Mondays with Mark.
He will not be there next Monday.
But he will be closed because it is a holiday on Monday. So the Monday after, 27th. Family reunion. Does anyone have questions about family reunion? I know Sarah had posted there was a batch of tickets available. Does anybody not know what it is?
Who's planning on going?
Yep. Does anybody want to share their experience?
For those of you who raise your hand, why are you going?
Yeah.
Network.
No one.
Network with agents across the country, so when your clients leave San Diego, you can refer them to a top agent or any agent anywhere else in the country, and vice versa. So networking is the number one reason.
Yeah.
For me, it's just learning. I go for the breakout sessions. Like, I want to see all the big stuff too, but I want to hone in and bring back my one thing for the year.
Awesome.
It's inspiring, it's motivating, and it's overwhelming.
In a good way.
Yes,
That's right.
these are all good words. Yeah, so
That's exactly what I said.
So I went for the first time last year and it made me come home with so much energy. I met so many people. I did not spend any time with any of our office center that was there. So I met so many people and it was, just the energy. It was a great way to start your year.
awesome. So everyone has something different to say. It's all of those things, and I think it's the opportunity to all come together. So this is in Vegas in February. It is coming up very soon. Ticket prices go up on January 17th. That's in 2 days. So if you're on the fence, you should do this now.
Yeah.
Would be what I would say. Anything else to add?
It'll be my 20th, and I will not ever miss it. It's just,
And sometimes I go in thinking I'm going in for one thing, and I come out with something totally different, and that's kind of the fun for me. I go in wanting to learn one thing. That's always how I go into family reunion, but I always come out with more than what I went in for. Escrow partners. Hi. So Christina in the back. I saw Nicole at some point here as well.
I think she's right there. She's right here.
Oh, there she is. I was like, she was here. Where'd she go?
I just got over the flu, so I'm staying away.
And he's Everybody's been knocked out. So you guys come check out, if you haven't already been down to Suite 201, come check it out. The other thing I will say is, if you haven't been in recently, we spruced up a little bit in there. So check it out. For any of our agents that are working with escrow partners, if you need to have a client meeting in there, there's tables in there. So come check it out. And
I'll do a bucket fill when he's not in here, but Balin put the office together for us.
Oh, that's
nice. So thank you, Balin.
did an awesome job. Guys, look, it's spruced up and pretty. And then two agents we want to say congratulations to this week. Vinny and Kareem, congratulations. They just closed escrow in early January. So I've been hearing rumblings from Christine and Nicole that there's people in this room that will be up on the slide next week because things are happening. So congratulations to everybody.
And our next agent shout out goes to Sam and Yanni, of course. They opened escrow, their first escrow of the year, and it's on their own listing.
Well, you friend.
Hey guys, happy New Year, everybody! So we have some good news today. Finally, the market. Does anybody know what CPI is? What it stands for? Besides the guys that are in finance in the back of the room. Awesome. You guys know what that means?
No.
All right. So, so it's a basket of goods, right? That we all spend money on, like eggs, homeowners insurance, food, shelter, like it's a whole slew of different things that they track and they see what the prices are doing from month to month, right? And this is the gauge that the Fed uses to figure out where inflation is going. And what's inflation? It's how much prices are increasing month over month, year over year, right? So that's what inflation means. How much are prices going up? Because they always go up, right? Let's be honest, they don't come down, right? So this month, finally, we had a little bit of relief, even though they were expecting, and you're going to hear two different numbers, just so you know. You'll hear a headline inflation, that actually went up. But what the Fed looks at, they take out food and shelter, food and energy, right? And they look at everything else that we're spending money on. And basically, that number came down 0.1%, and the market's rallied. So if you're looking at your stock portfolio, that thing probably shot up today. We're up a good like 700-800 points on the Dow, and bonds got a little bit better as well. So rates have come down. We have been floating in the 7s recently, which kind of sucks to give people those numbers at the end of the day. But the good news is that everything is kind of hopefully now going to be heading in the right direction. 2025, even though they said there's going to be just a couple of rate cuts this year. Hopefully now that we're getting a little bit better and better on a monthly basis, it looks like we're hoping that it'll be more rate cuts than what they announced last time. So I know it went down from like last time it was like 5 down to like 2, but the markets are pricing in some more rate cuts this year. So Any questions about CPI or inflation or anything like that? No? I know, it's fun stuff. I love economics.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. If anybody needs anything, I'm always in the corner. You guys can find me.
Hello, everybody. So you might want to scan this QR code. I put this together this morning. This is all information that you should be relaying to your clients right now, because with the fires in LA, there might be an effect with insurability down here with your current escrow. So if you're a listing agent, you should be very aware with your current listings that you make sure that that buyer is very proactive, and the buyer's agent is keeping that buyer proactive on getting insurance options up front. There's also in this link, another document is being proactive with your existing homeowners that are in your sphere of influence, what they can do to make sure that they're protecting themselves just in case they get canceled on their insurance. They need to be very proactive with that as well. And it's a good touch point for you guys to use too with everybody in your database. So I would be sending that flyer out to everybody in your database and following up with a phone call to say, hey, did you get that? This is really important, because this is a great touch point for you. Also in there is the broker advisory that I put together about that you should be giving to your buyers very early on in the transaction before you start looking for a home. And it's the buyer insurance advisory. So this is a lot of moving pieces right now. We don't know how this is going to flesh out. We do know the governor signed a 1-year moratorium for anybody in the affected region of the fires, but we feel that Carr feels, we were on the phone last Friday about this, Carr feels this will be an ongoing issue, even worse than it was before. So fun stuff, but please scan that QR code and use some of those documents in there. Amy.
Did they put them, I think you talked about moratorium, I was looking at the advisory. Didn't they put it for the whole state?
I think it was the.
Because Mark posted something about it, I thought it said the whole state was on
Yeah.
moratorium.
I have to check on that. What I read this morning was in the
Just the
affected
region.
areas.
Okay.
Yes,
I think
near
it
the
was-
affected areas.
I think it was the insurance commissioner who put the,
Yeah.
that they could not cancel or they could not,
Non-renew.
drop or not renew until 2026.
So again, we don't want our clients to get the California Fair Plan, but that might be something that will be their only option. And just so you know, it is a contingency within the purchase agreement about insurance, but it doesn't mean that they can cancel because they can't find the insurance that they like. Right? It's if they get the insurance. And so that's a contentious issue right now, that if buyers attempting to cancel because they don't like the insurance that they can get, it's if they can get it. So this will all be flushed out in the next, who knows? This will be going on for a long time. Any questions? Fun stuff, huh? One more thing to be added onto the file after this year. All right.
You're just starting.
I know, right? But then get it to the right.
Okay. Where's going on? Same for code? Okay. And we also, you guys will post this on the Facebook page, so if for some reason you missed it, we'll have it there as well. Property pitches. Who has some property pitches coming to market?
I got one.
Yeah.
Just came on the market today, so if you have anyone in like Del Mar, Carmel Valley, Rancho Santa Fe, $3 million. Go on the market. First open house is Saturday, but if you guys have a buyer at $3 million price point, I'll get you guys in early.
It's pretty. Yeah.
I'm putting one on in Rancho Del Rey in Chula Vista on Friday. It'll be at $999, 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 1,900 square feet. No HOA or Melrose.
Wow. Very cool. We also have a property pitch. Very cool. And I'll just thank you for those 2 property pitches. And again, if you guys have Nova rental that I can send up to LA, if you want me to make that connection, if you know something off market in the rental space, for right now, I'm just sending those leads up to the Burns team. So please let me know if you hear of something.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I will have one. It's a 3-2 with a small ADU, like a 1-1. Pretty tiny, I think like 300 square feet. Huge lot though, in 92115 off of Erica.
Cool.
I don't know price, we haven't gone there yet, but
Haven't seen it.
They've just bought, so they're taking the time to move out.
Awesome. Great.
Excellent.
Okay, don't click. No clicking, no touching. I will say yes, no. Hands off.
Oh, all right. So I want to, a lot of you know I live out in Camul. I am actually on the California Fair Plan, and we will have to keep a close eye on all the insurance stuff. It's 12,000 structures that have been burnt completely, 10,000 houses. To give perspective of that, how many houses do you think we sold in San Diego County last year? You'll know in a minute.
6,000.
No. Just under 30,000. So 1/3 of everything we sold last year just got wiped off the planet. That's a lot of houses. We can't fathom the amount of financial loss. And the scary part is, even if there's a moratorium, you gotta have the cash to pay the claim. And I have a feeling there's not gonna be enough cash. These companies don't have that much. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it does flesh out. I'm gonna piggyback on what Robert said. This is a great conversation to have with your clients, but if you own property, you need to be talking to your insurance agent now and making sure you've got the right coverages. Yeah. Has real estate gone up a little bit in price? Replacement costs a little bit different than it might have been 5 years ago?
Well, and that's what people need to understand. Replacement cost is gonna cost you more than actual cash value. That's important.
Especially now. And if there's gonna be
Especially now.
10,000 houses built,
Yeah.
what's the price of goods gonna go? I mean,
Yeah.
Who's gonna build them? Where are they gonna live when they need to build them?
it's gonna be very
I know
interesting.
we're recording.
Did this get extended?
Did what get extended?
Yeah.
Was there, remember what happened during COVID with the tax got pushed?
The last couple of years, tax day did get extended. This is tax day this year.
Unless you're affected.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, because my friend's
They haven't
CPA in
announced
LA, right there, but, and he,
And that might
so maybe it's
happen.
just what's been affected,
Yeah.
they might bump it out, we'll see.
Yeah, they haven't officially announced it yet, but so far it's only LA that's been extended to October.
Got it.
So, when we don't have pandemics or huge fires going on, the 15th of April is tax day, and that is 90 days from today. So every year I use tax day in January because what you're doing now in your business shows up financially then. So I would love for you all to be able to pay your taxes in April, not have to wait, not have to get penalties. So get busy now. We are seeing, are you guys feeling that there's been kind of like right after the first of the year, things started to pick up? That doesn't usually happen. Usually it's sleepy the first half of January. Has not been the case. So let's take advantage of it. By the way, we don't know how this will play out either, but Carla Kiernan had actually asked on Facebook about the impact of LA residents who have lost everything coming down here. We are already seeing that happen. Here in Las Vegas, both those areas, I know they're having an influx of people affected. So on our limited inventory already, whether it's for rent or sale inventory, we're gonna have more pressure. Which means what? Prices go up. And on rentals especially, you guys have to be aware of the price gouging and don't do it. You cannot charge more than 10% of what you would have charged prior to the fires. I don't know how that plays out with a sale because demand pushes prices up. We've got multiple offers. So stay tuned. Robert will keep us informed. Yes?
Yes.
All right, so here's some fast, this particular staff meeting is a review now of all of 2024. Next month, we'll have the first January review for 2025. So this is just all 2024's numbers. We listed throughout the whole year, almost 20% more than we did the year before. Yeah, I think we probably will see at least 20% increase this year because the trajectory really started to take off the last quarter, actually. Our average commission for the whole year was $21,557, 7.4% up over the previous year. Which means our prices went up because you tend to be paid based on the volume that you're selling, right? And then the market center averaged $2,000 per closing as income. That was down 16.9% from the previous year. So it's interesting, the market's up, y'all are making more money, but per unit we're making less. Do you know why that is?
Is that because we had more cappers?
More people who are on capping were closing more units.
Yeah.
So we don't make money on those capped units, which
And
Which
does
is why
expenses
we
come into-
want you to help us with escrow.
Do expenses come into that number too, like the fact that?
No,
it's
that
not-
is just company
Okay,
dollars.
straight company dollars.
That has nothing to do with expenses. Yep. By the way, do you think we had to cut some expenses?
Sure.
You have to. All right, here's the overall numbers, 20% for the countywide increase in listings taken year over year. But I want you to look, even though we're way up over 2023, which was a painful year, where are we in historical proportion?
Still below.
Still way below. Still way below. That's why I think this year we'll see 20, 25, maybe 30% more. And then on the sales side, move this out of here, we actually only popped up 5.28%, which is interesting. I am surprised we didn't sell more of the inventory we brought, but it's expensive. And a lot of that buildup, the inventory that didn't sell, is condos. It's not houses. It's our condo market. Yes?
I just want to make sure I'm seeing that number right. You said we sold under 30,000, but it looks like 21,119.
It's 30,000. We listed under 30,000. Yes, correct. That's correct. Sorry, I used the wrong number. We listed 30,000.
So they wiped out half of
Half of what we sold this last year. Yeah. Now, that's a really low number. We need to get back in the 30s. That's where we really should be as San Diego County. Say again?
I was saying we were in the 40 to
In the mid 2000s.
5, yeah,
Yeah.
not too long ago.
If you think of the county, the size it is, 30 to 35,000 is really where we should be every year. We haven't hit that for the last several years, which means those 3 years, those people, 10,000 here, 15,000 here, almost 15,000 here, they're waiting. There's 45,000 sales that didn't happen that are gonna show up probably between now and 2028.
Okay, so calling them all.
So we will get busy. Thank you for that clarification. I spoke wrong about the listings and closings. All right. Compared to last month, this is what we had available this morning when I pulled this. It was actually about 5:30. So January is almost always the lowest inventory month because most people didn't list in December, right? They pulled up, and if they expired, they didn't come back on. So January is always, always, always our lowest month. Then it starts to creep up. Same on the condo side. Okay, so again, this now represents the entire year and the 3-year comparison. What do you see on that slide? The blue bar is 2022, the red bar is 2023, and the yellow is 2024. A lot of properties people can't afford. Okay.
There's less homes in the price range 700 to 800. Something happened there since 2022 and now.
But they just don't exist.
Yeah, they're going up.
Everything is pushing up in price.
Yeah.
So my goal for next month, so you know, for the next month's staff meeting, it'll be the first full month of the year, January. I am going to take the time to redo all these price points. It is a major investment of time, but it needs to happen because now we need to differentiate, especially in these 2 price points, what's really going on. Here's what the solds. Now it's interesting you said there's a lot of properties people can't afford because the absorption rate is still really high. So what's scary, and scary to me for 3 to 5 years from now, is that only about 23% of buyers in 2024 in San Diego were first-time buyers.
Which percent?
23%. So 3 to 5 years from now, the first-time buyers from last year should be selling, but they didn't buy. So I'm kind of concerned to see where that move-up buyer is going to come from. It just may extend the sales cycle out longer. But it is also indicative, we got to do something to enable first-time buyers to buy.
It's about building apartment complexes and building condos.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see the unintended consequences or the ramifications of that much property being destroyed up there. There's going to be very, I believe, innovative new construction methods and ideas because we haven't had that much vacant land available to develop anything in California for my life, 50 years. And the Olympics are coming. And LA is always kind of on the cutting edge. So hopefully it's a good opportunity that they will be able to be innovative. And if they do that there, that might trickle through other cities, including San Diego. We'll see. But we certainly have a first-time home buyer problem.
I want just to clarify what I'm saying, that people can't afford these more and more of these homes, right? It's like, just a couple of years ago, $100,000 would cost you $500 a month.
Right.
Now you're talking $800 a month.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, people that were looking at that $800,000 price point, and that would drop $4 or $5 grand.
Oh, by the way, your insurance is going to go up too.
A month. Oh yeah, it's double, right? And so the 800,000 that were in the 4,000 or 5,000 range are now in the 8,000-9,000 range. That 8,000-9,000 range used to be million plus homes, right? Like really, really multi-million. And now you just have and those 800,000. We all look at them all the time. It's not all that, right? It's not like.
And what's shocking now is we have enough of our population that can do it.
Yeah. So it's that's what I meant by.
Yeah. It seems weird or antithetical, but they're not sitting on the market. They're not expiring. People are buying them. Some of the crazy stuff, just to know the disposable income, the income that's out there that probably isn't in our day-to-day. There are people bidding on houses because of this up in LA at $50,000 a month for rent.
Wow.
They're willing to pay that to get the house they want.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but there's people who can do it. All right, listed by price point, just 2023 compared to 2024. Oh, I didn't change the November. It's supposed to say December. Sorry. We did a lot better in each price point. And obviously with the solds too. We would sell, if we were listing property in these price points, we definitely would sell it. They just don't exist anymore. And I do think, especially now with the added pressure that we'll feel from what happened in LA, I think it will be the end of 2025, we'll see the end of sub $400,000 prices. I just, maybe a few outliers, but you can even tell. This is active houses of today. In the entire San Diego, humongous county, we have less than 40 to 60 that are under 400,000. Less than 40. 31.
These are detached.
Detached.
Serious.
And some of these are going to be mobile homes because agents put mobile homes in there. Some of them are the leased land. Julian.
So this is all property types that you said?
This is active houses. Condos is next. This is
Okay.
last January versus this January.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's detached.
2024, 2025.
Okay.
We have a lot more inventory. I put these two so you can see compared to last January. It's pretty much double the inventory in most price points. It's still not a lot of inventory. It's just doubles. All right, and then there's condos. Today. Same thing, If we look under 400,000, there's only 130 condos. So if you put condos, 130 condos, 31 houses, 161 properties in all of San Diego County currently available under 400,000. It's not much. In a county of 3.3 million people. And by the way, again, with the increased pressure on these properties, how fast do you think those prices are gonna go up?
Oh, big time.
That's why I think by the end of the year,
I know. And then they're expensive, because with interest rates and everything, it's just still, could be $4,000 a month just for a little.
Plus HOAs.
and
Plus
the,
HOA.
HOAs too, oh yeah.
and the reason people still are doing that is because our rents are so damn high. And those are continuing to go up quickly. All right, and then that was last year. So same thing, we have a lot more inventory in each of the price points. What does that mean? What do you, somebody who's been in business a while, double the inventory, how do you feel about that?
Downward pressure on the prices.
We still have too many buyers.
I don't want to say we have too many buyers, but our demand is still much higher than available supply. It just shows you how compressed our market was for the last several years. And our 7 days on the market before you're sold, that has slowed down.
It depends on the area too.
Oh, for sure.
For whatever reason, last year, I just became the East County king. Don't ask me why. I'm so East County. And,
Put on borrow your hat, Kevin.
it's crazy. There was an East County agent last year who was like, you're trying to step on the curb. And I'm like, sorry, I don't need to. But, like, in some of those areas out in East County, they're going very quick, but other ones, and it depends on the product, it's just sitting forever, or you're having more wiggle room in it. So it really depends. Like, yeah, there's buyers out there. Like, I'm in an offer thrive in an escrow right now where we got it on the first shot. Like, we didn't, because there wasn't much. So, I mean, it really depends. So if you say double inventory, it doesn't mean a whole lot unless your product is top notch.
Well, and this is the whole county. If that's still not a lot of properties in the whole county. If you go down to neighborhood, I looked in Humboldt today, there's 27 active houses. We haven't had 27 in years. But Humboldt's also very large. So if you're in town, there's still only 2. You're going out practically to Arizona for the other 20.
Yeah.
All right, there's our absorption rates, how we ended the year. December was a good December. Every single absorption rate was higher at the end of the year than it was even at the end of November. And they're all really high. That tells us the number one indicator that says we are still in a hot seller's market. Yeah, and we will be for the rest of my life. And now it's going to be hotter. New listings. This is the entire year. I'm sorry, this is the entire year, but the months that you see the number is just December. So December is the highest December in the last 3 years. Trajectory is good. November was the highest November in 3 years. October was the highest October in 3 years. If you remember, September sucked. It was the lowest September ever, but somehow we really picked up steam October, November, December. Okay, active listings up substantially. However, if you look back just to 2019, we got a long way to go to get even back to where we were then. And we were still in a crazy real estate market then. But this is very good. The fact that we're up that high means you have more choice in a time where we need more choice. Okay. Pendings up a little bit. Solds up substantially.
Do you think that they're pulling springtime closer to the winter time right now?
There's nothing in the data that can tell me why we ticked up. I'm just glad we did. I know anecdotally with most of the people that I'm coaching and in constant conversations with, as soon as the election did happen, regardless of the outcome, people knew what was coming. The rates didn't go down. And so it's kind of, I think people are just going, well, we've been waiting forever, gotta do it now. And so they're starting to pick up. And I do think, again, for December, October, November, December to start trending up the way they did, there's no reason January, February, March won't do the same thing. Median sales price did dip down a little bit over November, but it's just moment in time, and it's almost always low in December. Where we always want to look at is December over December, and we had increases in both. Now, thanks to this guy, after doing these slides, I don't know, 20 years, what I have always done, just so you guys know, is I literally take where we ended the month of the median, so $1,600,000, and subtract 10 years ago from it, where we were 10 years ago. So that difference is 511,000. Follow my math, how I did that?
Yep.
And then I divide 511,000 into 495, and that's how I get it's 103% 10-year gain. And then forever, until this month, I've taken the 103% and just divided it by 10. So if you've been coming to these for a long time, in the past, where it says 7.35 average annual appreciation, I would have had 10.3% because I took the 103 divided by 10 just to give a run. Well, thank you, Ed. Educated me that is not the appropriate way to do it. And there's actually calculators online to show you annual appreciation. So now I use an annual appreciation calculator and I put the numbers in, doesn't matter. Comes out to 7.35 because it's almost like compound interest. Yeah.
It's still that way right now.
Because it's
Still,
7
yeah.
on 7, on 7,
Exactly.
on 7, yeah, okay.
So I still am going to put the 103% because that shows you it doubled. And that's still a legit, that is a 10-year gain. However, the annual average appreciation is broken down differently. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you. I'm not going back and correcting all the slideshows I've done. Going forward, they'll be right.
No, because historically speaking, it's like 508 for the last like 65 years in San Diego. So just the past 10 years, dude, 2% higher. That's great.
Well, it's good to have just a snapshot. So if we've been averaging that for the 10 years and this last year was just that shows me the condo market is weak. I know that, but it gives me the data that shows it's weak.
Because of the HOAs, right?
The HOAs and the decks.
And the decks, yeah.
Okay, same thing with the average. So we should, I love the fact we're doing a Super Bowl pool. I would love to do something with our median and averages to have it kind of like ongoing. If December ended at 1.3 million, where do we think next December will be? Yeah? Like gumballs in the jar. Okay, median active market time. And I had said this last month, we're gonna get above 30 days. We're gonna be above 30 days in January, for sure. But it will come down. It come down February, March, April. 28 days seems like an eternity when we were at 7 days for a long time. That's still really healthy.
Yeah.
It's still a fast-moving market. Hopefully at this point, you all know how to have the conversations and set expectations with your sellers. They're gonna be on the market for about a month. They'll be in an escrow for a month and they'll be out of their house in 60 days. Okay, month supply, still pretty short. And that is, the reason for this, you never list a lot in December, but you also don't sell a lot in comparison to the rest of the year. So we have gone backwards a little bit in terms of month supply of inventory because the rapidness or the speed of the market slowing down a little bit because it's December. Average list price staying pretty steady in the 97 range. List price to sales price. Very, very, very healthy. Okay. Average price per square foot follows obviously the sales price. Dipped down a little bit. That's pretty healthy. It's a double number in 10 years, which is why I put this slide together, which shows the projections going out. I know, it's mind-blowing.
No, I can't, I just don't see.
Mind-blowing. If we were to continue to double our price per square foot every decade for the next 4 decades, that's what would happen to our prices. And it is mind-boggling, but if we were able to have this conversation with ourselves 10 years ago, we would have also thought that was mind-boggling. And so those people are going, well, we're gonna wait for it to correct and prices to come down. And some of you have had clients who have been saying that 2 or 3 or 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
They're waiting for it to crash.
It's not going to crash. Because the demand, think of it this, I mean, pretty much the worst national disaster we've ever seen just happened last week, yes? Still happening. But the massive destruction happened last week. And a lot of those people who lost everything, what did they immediately do? Go buy a house.
Really?
Or go rent a house. I mean, everybody needs housing. And they're looking there. It's not like they're going, oh my God, I gotta move somewhere else now. They wanna stay where they wanna stay. And losing everything didn't force a crash. It was a double down.
But what if insurance, as it keeps going up, and it could get really out of hand later, let's say it's, what do you think that will do to the prices? Any thought?
I don't know because it's uncharted territory. I will say I am very concerned that the losses are so staggering in this, that the way the companies are now, they're not gonna be able to fund the losses. So I think the government's gonna have to intervene and then they'll probably, I listened to one of the news stories this weekend, which was speculation, because nobody knows. Anybody says they know, they're full of shit. Just to be clear, I mean, this never happened. But it will happen again. That's the scary part. But one of the newscasters was saying, this is going to end up in the socialization of our insurance industry. There's no way it can't, because there are certain places that are a bigger risk. California, Oklahoma, Florida, Texas, where you need insurance, and everybody who's in New York and North Dakota are gonna have to offset our costs. Yeah, right. So,
But insurance industry is state-run. So the federal government's gonna get, that's gonna be it.
if you think, we don't know, and it could, I mean, guys, what? We had Lahaina.
Yeah.
We just had North Carolina. That just happened.
Tennessee.
Yes, Eric.
It did happen in 08. If you remember, AIG was bailed out. They were insuring all of them.
I don't remember, because I was just getting through day to day. Is that what happened?
Yeah, so AIG was, correct me if I'm remembering correctly, they were insuring a lot of the bad mortgages and loans that were also over leveraged.
Yeah.
And then the banks also went under. So it wasn't enough just to bail out the banks. The same few companies were insuring all these loans that were wrapped up in financial products that had bad loans in them as well, which were included speculative products or construction.
Right.
So they did come in and bail out essentially the insurance company. So I agree with you. I think there's going to be a huge.
There's going to have, I mean, in this one particular, this I do know because I am on California Fair Plan, the vast majority of the houses in Pacific Palisades, like 70%, are on California Fair Plan, which is state run. And I did read and watch the CEO of California Fair Plan. 2 years ago, they only had 250 million liquid dollars.
It's a quasi-state and private. So the discussion is they're bringing in not only the flood insurance, the fire insurance, and the earthquake insurance,
and discussion about nationalizing all of that. And they, ultimately what happens is, guess who pays for it?
We all do.
Everybody does.
But at least it's spread out.
Yeah, because not, one state is not affected.
So it's going to be interesting. That was a very long non-answer to your question. It's going to impact it, where our costs of ownership are going to go up, but appreciation probably will too. Because the one thing we can't do is make more land. And even with losing everything, everybody, they need someplace and they want someplace to live here in Southern California. We are in demand, right? Y'all chose here. You going back to Minnesota? All right, so these are just the SDAR slides. I did update these. Again, just for perspective, our median price in San Diego for a house is 2.5 times the national median. Okay? It's really the only reason I'm using this slide anymore. And then this shows us the buildup of inventory we are having is predominantly in the condo market. It's a tale of two markets. We still have a lot of demand for the available houses. Condos are sitting a little bit longer. Okay. All right. Questions?
Yeah, so we know the Austin market changed rapidly within 2 months. What was the precipice for that, other than, post-pandemic, a lot of people moved there?
They got overblown really badly. And then, they just went up so quickly, they priced themselves out of buyers, essentially.
Yeah, so they're down like 43%.
They went, I was just saying this at lunch, they went, Mike Ray is the team leader in Austin. We were just there for FSO last month. You talked when you were there this week. Did he talk about the market?
Yeah.
Okay. I got him alone for a little bit. And he's very depressed because his agents are going through hell. They went from our kind of seller's market to a buyer's market in 2 months. Wow. The brakes went on. And a lot of it was interest rate driven because their prices went way higher than ours. We've had some incredible appreciation. Austin was probably 3 times as fast as our market to appreciate, plus those interest rates.
I was just gonna say, I heard a lot today, so if you guys, I just wanted to take a moment to recap some things that you can go start talking to your clients about. So of all the things you heard today, some of the things that stood out to me, go download what BD, that QR code for the insurance, go get that. Be in service now, get those discussions now. That Burns team, the ones I was talking about, they are in discussion with their people all the time. It's not like they just have 43 clients that lost homes. It's because they are serving so many people. So to turn this into something good for you in the moment, like how can you do good at this time? Go get that from BB. Start talking to your people about insurance now. If you're going to family reunion, network with people that are in markets that you have heard your friends and family are moving to. Because there may be a point where insurance is so high that people move out. Have those relationships in place already. So if you're going to family reunion, go in with a plan, places where you want to know people from, so that when you see a tag and it's like, oh, I want to know somebody from Austin, because I think my friends are moving from San Diego to Austin, I want to have a referral partner there. Can we go grab lunch? Like that is a great way to make use of your time at family reunion. Go talk to your people if they've been trying to buy and they've been waiting for the crash. We actually post these slides so that you can go have math conversations, right? I was talking to somebody before this today and said, it's great because it's math. Like it's not what I think. It's not, anything politics based. It's math. Grab one of these and go have that conversation about, explain to me why you think there's going to be a crash. Tell me more about where you think that's coming from.
I've never said this, and thank you for highlighting that. When Ari sends this out to you, it's usually now coming from Ari. We don't do the PDF anymore. We used to send a PDF. You actually get the PowerPoint. So if you go to this slide in the PowerPoint and you put your mouse here, it will tell you the number. So you can actually adjust this, and you can go back and say every year, oh, this is where we were in 2020.
So you can talk to a client and go, you've been waiting since the pandemic for things to crash and you lost that much weight. But the numbers are in there, so as long as you're using your mouse, you can go in and see it.
And the other one that I would call out is now that you guys have that vendor partner network link live, those are all resources. Everybody on there services your clients, right? What they do exists, and that's why they're in our vendor network, because they work with agents. It also gives you the ability to say, I have a vendor that does X. If you need a wealth management discussion, I have somebody who's in my network that does that. Would you like me to put you in touch with them? It makes you the cornerstone of whatever's going on in their life. If they're gonna, sell in a couple of months, but they have to work something out first, be the one that connects them to that thing, help in that way so that you stay top of mind, because that's when they then come back to you when it's time to have this conversation. You've already been there and been of service. And I will say it's the one thing that's been helping me stay distracted a bit over the past week is just doing something. I know that sometimes, obviously KW Cares is very near and dear to me all the time, especially when I know people. But do something. Do something with that energy. I have found that is what has made me stop crying. Go do something. Go get into action. Go help your people. Those would be some of the top points that I would take away from today.